Is ever getting healed an option when your family has been destroyed by a family separation cult? Maybe you are still hurting and suffering from any family separation for that matter. Well, I've got some flipping good news. There is healing to be had. And in this video, Overcoming Cultic Grief, my healing story part 2, watch the first one if you can, I'd like to share with you another one of the massive 3 healings that I've had since escaping the cult I was born into, which resulted in my family being separated and destroyed as my family were influenced by the cult to shun, ostracise and have nothing more to do with me, which has been going on for the last 32 years. To get healed would mean me transforming from being a victim to a victor, being able to move on with my life and not letting my past define me, and being able to talk about my past if I ever want to, fearlessly. They are 3 signs at least that healing is taking place. So this particular healing happened the moment I left home on the 7th of November 1988. It was the day when it felt like I had shot my beloved parents, who I loved, and buried them under the patio. I told them I was moving out because I had committed a sin that meant I would be excommunicated by the cult. It meant I may never see them again. It made my mum cry for the first time. My dad pleaded with me to stay. It was the saddest moment of my life. I had been planning this escape for the last 100 days. I moved out that morning and went straight to my apartment that I had prepared. The full story is in the book Cult Escape. Once in my apartment, I broke down and cried uncontrollably for 3 hours. It wasn't leaving the cult that upset me, it was the fact that I may never see my parents again, who I loved. I may never eat with them again, stay with them, have normal family life ever again, which has been the case for the last 32 years. Now, unknown to me at the time, sometimes you only learn with hindsight. In those 3 hours, I was to go through what is known as the 5 stages of death. When a person leaves a cult for whatever reason, it can be like experiencing a type of death. Even if you are the one that deliberately escaped, believing that getting out was the best thing for you. Letting go of those closely knit bonds of your loved ones and the familiarity and belonging follows a similar process to mourning a death. Understanding these 5 stages really helped me and was a massive part of my healing. As I go through them, see if any apply to you in any way. But first, a bit of context. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross created the 5 stages of death theory, of which the principles can be applied to many different aspects of loss in someone's life. The stages are not prescriptive, and the order and timescale can differ in each person and in every situation. But generally speaking, the principles can help bring an understanding and aid the healing process to an experience of any type of loss, losing a loved one, an animal, a job, or losing your family to a cult. I recognise these 5 stages in my healing process, just applied to the traumatic loss of my parents, who I knew I might never see again. Here is the way I see these 5 stages outworked in my particular experience. They started the moment I entered my apartment on the day I left home. It was at this moment that it finally hit me that I had escaped. I was free, but I'd lost my parents. I cried continuously for 3 hours, during which the following thought processes occurred. The first stage for me was denial. I was in shock. I was with my parents half an hour ago. I'd been with them from birth. Surely this had not come to an end. Surely I had not really left them. We are together, really. I started with denial. Then this moved into the second stage. I started to feel anger. Why have I had to go through this impossible situation? Why have I had to make an impossible choice? How dare I be cornered in such a way? How dare my life turn out this way? Anger then turned to the third stage, blame. From what I remember, I irrationally blamed the imaginary deck of cards that had been stacked against me, causing my life to come to this point. Blame then phased into depression. What is the point of life? How can I go on feeling like this? I can't imagine ever feeling any different. I feel like I have had to shoot my parents and bury them under the patio. This is the last thing I ever wanted to do. They are distraught. My mum cried, my dad felt trapped. They've lost 2 sons now. This is awful. This is impossible. I was in a deep depression at this point. And I want to say that these 4 stages can be in any order and can sometimes take weeks, months or years to go through. But amazingly, as I cried at rock bottom, my mind travelled through these stages, it appeared, in these 3 hours. As the 3 hours went by, and I just let it all out with any restraint, my extreme emotions seemed to take me through these 4 stages, and I began to see and feel these 4 feelings: denial, anger, blame and depression were not the answers. Of themselves, they were just deep feelings I was experiencing. They were the revealers of the reality, or should I say my present reality, my transitioning reality even. The weeping seemed to exhaust each stage. I seemed to experience each emotion until I had seen and felt them from every angle. It was as though these emotions had been hidden in the dark, and the weeping gradually exposed them all to the light, enabling me to see and understand them. As I said, they were not answers. When I saw them for what they were, they weakened and gradually, one by one, lost their sting. It took me 3 hours, by which time a new feeling was to emerge, and I remember thinking these exact words and making a strong commitment. I don't like these feelings. They are very depressing. I am not going to carry on like this. I can't change the past. I'm going to go to the video shop and get some comedy videos. I had reached number 5, acceptance. I came to the place where I knew that denial, anger, blame and depression were never going to help me. It seemed that I had cried them out of my system. I saw them for what they were, what they are. They would only keep me down, control and destroy me if I let them. In one sense, they were not my friends. They were just pointers to the journey that I must take to get free. They were not going to set me free. My coming to acceptance of these facts enabled me to see that though I can't change the past, life truly goes on. I wasn't living in my past. I accepted my lot. I was now living in the present. A wave of hope flushed through me. Not hope for the past, because that was gone, but hope for now and the future. So I went to the local video shop on Lawrence Road, Wavertree, and I hired Faulty Towers on Laurel and Hardy. I watched John Cleese doing the goose step and saying, "Don't talk about the war." Manuel with the rat poison and the health inspector. Basil Faulty whacking the car with a branch because the car wouldn't start. Sybil having a fit. Laurel and Hardy hitting each other around the head with spades. I laughed and have been laughing ever since. Why not? The sunny side of the street is always there. If it's cloudy, the sun is still above the clouds. Clouds come to pass. There's no point in crying over spilt milk. Why bang my head against a brick wall continually? These were some of the early metaphors that helped me choose the positive reality of life. It appears that those extreme 3 hours fast-forwarded me into acceptance. If so, then I am very fortunate. Some people take years to work through these stages, but having knowledge of the 5 stages can enable you to understand a natural process that can help you be courageous during the time before you arrive at acceptance. Many who apply the 5 stages to their own loss find that it really helps them move faster through their situation. If you are going through a loss right now, can you identify a stage you might be at? If you recognize any of these stages that you might be in at the moment, keep going, keep going. Have hope and faith in it that acceptance is on the horizon. There's greater healing ahead for us all. I hope this encourages you. We're not stuck, we can move onwards, and it's okay to be on that journey, moving forwards together towards deeper healing, knowing our lives aren't defined by who we were, it's who we are now. Now, as you've endured to the end of this video, here's a little extra just for you. See this photograph behind me? The combination of the vibrant yellow tulips with the green foliage set with a background of blue skies and white blossom on the trees. I took this springtime a few years ago in Kerkenhof, a place near Amsterdam in Holland, where they grow 9 million tulips every year. Must be one of the most colourful places on earth. It's amazing. Put it on your bucket list if you haven't yet been. And just look at this picture now for a few seconds, drinking in the colour. It does something to me. It's almost like it brings a healing to my soul. Have a look for a few seconds. See how it makes you feel. Thank you for watching and listening. I hope this video helps. I'll put the 5 stages in the description below. Please subscribe, like and comment, which will help spread the message out to more people. Get the book if you want to. It's free on Amazon Prime. And thanks again. I'll see you soon.